Okay, so chapter 26 is a little different. It's about something called the Myers-Briggs Personality Assessment. So it's called Single ISTJ Seeks Ambitious Successy Hot ENFJ. And you'll learn what those letters all mean in this chapter. And then for your assignment this week, I'm going to have you guys do a little abbreviated versions of the Myers-Briggs to figure out what your personality style is as well. So first off, there are our objectives. This is a pretty short chapter because it's all about the Myers-Briggs personality inventory, and that's pretty much it. So first off, the Myers-Briggs personality indicator type was created by a mother-daughter team, Isabel Myers and Catherine Briggs. It is one of the most effective tools for helping people identify their personality types, and it's used by psychologists throughout the world. So the one that I'm actually going to have you guys do for this week is not the real Myers-Briggs. It's an abbreviated version created by the author of the textbook, but it's basically the same thing. So first off, you might have wondered what those EINJ letters stood for, so that's what I'm going to tell you today. So first off, there are 4 different categories. You're either an introvert or an extrovert. People usually tend to know what those terms mean. Extroverts are people who are outgoing and very people oriented, and introverts are the exact opposite. Those are people who are more introspective and reflective. And then you're also either what they call a sensor or an intuitive. So people who are sensors, they use their 5 senses and they reflect on things in the here and now. Whereas people who are intuitives, they see the big picture, they see all the future possibilities. And then the next category is feelers or thinkers. So thinkers are people who base their decisions on logic and analysis, like they want all the details before they make any type of decision. And feelers are the people who are more person-centered. They make their decisions based on their morals, their values, and how they're feeling about the situation. And then lastly, we have the category of judgers or perceivers. Judgers are people who are planned and organized, and perceivers are people who are flexible and spontaneous. So there are those 4 different categories which don't necessarily have names per se, but you can't be an introvert and an extrovert. You're either one or the other. So when you take your assessment today or whenever you do this week, you will say either I'm an extrovert or an introvert. And you can even think about that now. And then for sensors or intuitive, you're either one or the other. Thinkers or feelers, you're one or the other. Judges or planners, one or the other. And once you do that, then you get your ESTJ or whatever category based on that category type. Now, when it comes to learning and personality types, there's also certain ways people learn, and that's important for you to know, especially being students and often being put in situations where you have to learn a particular way. Extroverts tend to be people who like to learn through experiencing. So they like to collaborate because remember, these are people who want to be around others. So they want to do the group work and work to learn along with other people. Introverts, though, are people who are more to themselves. They need to think about and reflect on a situation more than just talk to others about it. So these people tend to like lectures more because they can take in the information, they can go home, they can kind of stew in it, they can think about it, and then they can kind of decide what it is they want to do. And then we have sensors. They are people who like concrete learning. They also like to collaborate, so they're going to want to actually do something in order to learn. They don't just want to hear about it, they want to do it. Intuitives are people who learn through abstract conceptualization, so they want to think about how things could work, and they like having participating in the learning. They actually like coming up with different solutions to something. Thinkers like to use logic and facts. They like to debate various concepts. So they are going to be the people who look at the research and what this says about it because they want to think about it. They want to conceptualize it. And then fillers want to apply the information to them personal. They want to respond with encouragement because they are people who do things based on their values and their morals and things like that. So they want to make sure there's some type of personal connection with the material. Judgers tend to like structure. They are motivated to learn on their own. So as long as they can get structure, that's okay. They're often very goal oriented and goal directed. So they just need somebody to let them know exactly how things are going to be in the structured environment and they can excel. And perceivers are the people who like an entertaining lecture or they like group work. If you've ever said to yourself, oh, these classes are so boring, you might be more of a perceiver when it comes to personality type and learning because you want to feel entertained in order to learn the information. Whereas judgers, they are motivated, they want to learn everything, they just need the structure and to know what the expectation is. So you might be wondering, why is it important to know your personality preference? And we've already talked about personality a lot. You guys have had various personality assessments you've taken. I even think we did a version of the Myers-Briggs on the computer when we were getting ready to do our career research even. And so we'll see if you come up with the same thing, but it's important to know your personality preference so you can learn to understand and appreciate your preference, but also the preference of others. It can help you gain more insight about yourself and what you need to do to be successful in your learning. And if you really think about it, how do you think knowing your personality preference might help you with group work? Think about that for a moment. I would say it's going to be very important for you because if you and somebody else are two opposite personality types when it comes to learning, you're probably going to butt heads a lot because you guys don't feel that things should be done in the same way. So that's everything that you need to know about Chapter 26. And hopefully whenever you take the assessment yourself and you kind of give your little answer and your blurb for your assignment, it'll all make sense to you and hopefully that'll be beneficial to you in your future learning endeavors.